Just to show you guys, there's no hacks or anything on this computer. I just previously made a video with all of my system services running. We attempted to launch BattleNet. There's a wait time. I'm gonna close it back out. We're gonna relaunch it to show you guys there's nothing running on this PC other than I switched from controller to mouse and keyboard. My shots are better. We're gonna log into BattleNet. Launch Call of Duty. And kind of go over the settings and explain to you guys what's the difference in controller and how it operates, and how it operates with mouse and keyboard, and how to overall configure your DPI settings with your in-game sensitivity based on the fact whether you're a full deathmatch player or a wrist player. And thanks to June here in the Discord, say hi, June. June will,
Hello.
because of him, I was able to dial in my mouse and keyboard settings, and my gameplay has gotten essentially a lot better, as it's not as point and click as everybody thinks. Now, that being said, we're in Call of Duty. You launch into Warzone, just to show you guys how accurate these shots can be with a mouse. They're a lot more accurate than it will ever be on a controller. You have to configure your mouse smoothing, your ADS sensitivity, and when you're aiming down sights with the mouse, and how fast or slower you're tracking on a target versus, a controller. If you set that vertical sensitivity to pull back on that mouse while you're aiming and learn to control your aim, there's not going to be any recoil. You can aim for the head, even with a target moving. It's not complicated, guys. You're a lot faster. Your FOV's at 120. You guys can turn it up on console as well. Set your first and third person camera movement to at least 50%. If you're on a mouse, you want to keep that overall DPI somewhere. If you multiply by your in-game sensitivity, you keep it between, I say, it used to be it was 3,000 and 5,000. Now it's between 5,000 and 10,000, thanks to Omni Movement and how much faster paced Call of Duty has become. The problem is when you're ADS and with your mouse, you want to take away that short sensitivity when you're aiming down sight. You don't want that mouse to feel squirrely, right? So if that mouse feel like it's jerking all over the place, lower that ADS sensitivity down just a little bit. Drop it down to a 0.90 or a 0.85 or a 0.80 and lower your mouse sensitivity in game. Now, for those of y'all that are new to mouse and keyboard, when I say ADS, I'm referring to the aim down sight sensitivity multiplier. As you can see, mine's at a 0.90. Mouse sensitivity is only at a 5. That is it. We used to play on a 13 and a 14. That's entirely too high when aiming down sight trying to track someone. Your overall DPI on your mouse, it depends on how you are as a Warzone player. If in fact you have a mouse like I have, you can go into your mouse settings, go under performance. My DPI is set at 1850. You may take 1850, multiply it by your in-game sensitivity, and lower that ADS. I may adjust it a little bit or lower it a little bit, depending on how I'm playing that day. But you do have what's called angled snapping on mouse. I don't run it. I did when I was back learning. This is for beginners. It will help you track on target. It will, if you try to aim one direction or you over aim, it will move your mouse back for your original aiming point when you ADS'd before you overshot. Until you get comfortable running the mouse and learning how to track people. You can turn that off when you finally get the hang of it. Is this considered cheating? No, it's not aimbot. It's not aim assist. It fixes the corrections, and it corrects the mistakes that you make. That's all it does. Polling rate possibly as high as possible. Mine's at 1,000. Again, go into your graphics view. Make sure you're set on your ADS field of view is affected. Weapon field of view wide. This works for both controller players and mouse and keyboard. Set your first and third person camera movement to at least 50%. I personally run an inverted flashbang so the screen doesn't turn white, it turns black when I get flashbanged. That way I don't, blind myself. And that's pretty much it. Get comfortable. You'll notice when I'm aiming down sight, there's not a whole lot of play in my mouse as a wrist player. So when I'm looking at somebody, if it's jacked up too high, even when you're pulling that trigger on the mouse, see, there's still recoil. Just to show you guys, you'll learn to pull back on that mouse as you fire a shot. Okay, this is me not controlling the mouse. There's still plenty of recoil. But you'll learn if you go into your mouse settings, go to your overall mouse sensitivity. My vertical sensitivity multiplier is pulled by 1.05. I want a half a step up. That way it can help me control as I'm pulling back on the mouse. It makes up that recoil. I don't have to pull it very much. Look at that. So for those of y'all that's considering switching to mouse and keyboard, you won't make a mistake doing it. It's better. It's going to take you a while to get used to it, but I promise you, there are no cheats involved. A lot of people that play on mouse and keyboard, we don't use DMA, we don't use hacks, we don't use any of that. We're just skilled with using one. Myself, I'm ambidextrous. I can switch between controller and mouse and keyboard. I prefer mouse and keyboard because I'm faster. I'm able to get in behind players, break their camera. I'm overall faster. I can move in and out of windows faster when, 1v4 in a team or 1v3 in somebody. And it's easier to get around those players and make faster adjustments than what you can on a controller unless you're a cheating TikToker. That's why macro this controller with aimbot. We don't need that. You don't need that with a mouse and keyboard. So I just wanted to point that out, kind of explain to you guys what's been going on with the gameplay, and everybody's saying, oh, it looks better, but are you doing the thing? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I've got teammates that's been on mouse and keyboard longer than I have, or just as long as I have, and they're better than me. Take June, for instance. He'll drop 35, 40 kills in a game, and if I wasn't in there, he'd probably double that. But when you have an entire team that's skilled at using a mouse and keyboard, I don't care how many cheats you got, we will hunt you down, and you will lose. We're just overall